What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Idaho Rifleman. Today I have an AR-15 chambered in 300 Blackout. We'll be doing a hunting ballistics video on that to see how the ballistics perform at 50 yards into ballistics gel. The 300 Blackout, for those that don't know, was kind of developed as a close quarter caliber. It's a .308 bullet loaded onto a 5.56 casing that's been necked down. Be curious to see how it performs. The 5.56, typically has a 55 or 60 grain projectile on it. This one's significantly larger, so we'll see how it performs. This is about the fourth time I filmed this intro for this video. I meant to have it released about 2 weeks ago, but I did all my filming the day before I was supposed to go out of town. And when I got back in and started editing, the intro, the closing, and the breakdown of the rifle were all completely out of focus, and I just didn't have time to reshoot those before I left for Wyoming. I got down there, it was beautiful country, and my allergies completely cleared up, went away, best I've felt in a long time. But now that I'm back in Idaho, they decided to come back to a much larger degree than I've ever had allergies before, so that's been fun. So if you'll notice in some of the shots I'm congested, some of them I'm not. That's why there's about a 2-week difference in the video. But let's get started with this and see how the 300 Blackout performs. Alright everybody, before we get started today, let's talk a little bit about the rifle. It's a Smith and Wesson M&P 15. It's the Sport Edition. So this one has been upfitted with a Magpul, kind of a rubberized texture grip, Magpul MOE foregrip, and a Magpul stock that has the slide release inside the cutout of the stock. So that protects this, keeps it from getting bumped and accidentally adjusted while you're trying to use it. This also has a ring attachment for a single point sling and a Blackhawk adjustable bipod. So this bipod has some locking mechanisms in it, so you can extend it to any length and lock it in place, or you can adjust it all the way out and it'll lock out. This upper was home built, so it's got some different components. It's got a Stag Arms receiver. It's got I believe it was state-of-the-art arms barrel. The receiver has a forward assist on it. For a jam, it's supposed to help out with that. Seems like it's kind of 50-50 whether it actually works or not. For those that aren't as familiar with the AR platform, this is your charging handle. It works your bolt carrier group, allows it to come back and lock open. This is your magazine release. Your fire selection, since this is semi-automatic, you only have two options, safe or fire. And then this paddle actually releases the bolt inside your receiver. This is your dust jacket. Let's see, when I operate the paddle here, that pops open. If you have it closed, with the bolt closed, when you pull the charging handle back, it'll pop open as well. To lock the bolt open, you hold the charging handle back and move the paddle to the up position, and that locks your bolt in place. Very modular, very easy. Lock the bolt closed. We'll show you. These two are the pins that hold the upper receiver in place. If you pop those loose, pull these pins out. Close the dust jacket, get it out of the way. There. Pull that pin. Your upper receiver comes off. And your lower receiver, it's very easy to clean everything this way. This is all your trigger control, trigger mechanism. This right here is on a spring, helps kind of absorb some of the recoil. Your upper receiver, pull the charging handle back, and that allows the bolt carrier group to be removed. So this is your shell extractor and firing pin mechanism, and this is what allows the rifle to actually fire when it's all put back together. Make sure everything's in line there. Charging handle back, and that just locks back into place. And again, 2 pins, locks that, and locks that, and there's your completed rifle. There's actually a handful of calibers that will work in the AR-15 platform. For those that don't know, the AR-10 is your .308 larger calibers. AR-15 is typically your 5.56 or 223. 300 Blackout can be used with a 5.56 AR-15 lower. They actually have, they call it the AR-47, that is an upper chambered in 7.62 by 3.9 that also works on the AR-15 lower. So very modular rifles, very easy to switch that out and change what caliber your rifle is. Alright, we're set up out here at our range. We've got Hornady Custom 300 Blackout 135 grain FTX with a muzzle velocity of 2,085 FPS. We'll be using a 5-round mag, and we've got our ballistic gel set up at 50 yards. So I got to run down there and turn on the other camera real quick, and like you suggested last time, I'm actually going to use a rest this time. And by rest I mean hood of my truck. I'm still poor. Oh, let's give her a try. Let's go take a look and see how it did. Okay, so if you'll look, did pretty well, it looks like. This top one is from the 30-30 when we shot that a few weeks ago, and this is the hit from our 300 Blackout. If you can see the difference, you can see where the 30-30 dropped quite a bit from entering at the upper corner, quite a bit of drop. Whereas the 300 Blackout, it put out a lot more energy right here, shed a lot of its jacket. Right here is our flex tip, but it stayed pretty true and level. Well, it looks like it started to tumble a little bit, but stayed pretty straight overall. So we'll go ahead and dig that out and see exactly what it looks like. And it looks like these are 16-inch blocks. So I didn't bring a tape measure again, but looks like maybe around that 20-inch mark. Okay, we dug out the round. It mushroomed really nicely. Expanded pretty well. There's a lot of energy dump right at the beginning. But overall, I would say this would be a fairly decent deer cartridge. I'd be leery about using it any more than 50 yards because it is it's a .308 bullet on a 5.56 casing, so it is a slow, hard-hitting cartridge, but based on this, I think it would do pretty well. Alright everybody, well that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Idaho Rifleman with our 300 Blackout. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty impressed with this rifle. The ballistics were really good. They held really straight and true going into that gel. I'm a little concerned about that wound channel and how big it is, how much energy transfer there was. I'd be a little worried about meat loss with that if you're going after a smaller deer especially. But I mean, the first deer I ever shot was with a 7mm Remington Magnum, and there was that much damage around the entrance hole. So I don't know that this would be any worse than that, but something to think about if you're considering using your 300 Blackout as a hunting rifle. I don't know that I'd go for anything much larger than deer. I think it'd be much too weak for an elk or anything like that, but I think it is an option to keep in the toolbox. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I really enjoyed making it for y'all. Head over to Facebook and Instagram and check out the Idaho Rifleman page there, and head over to idahorifleman.blogspot.com to read some further information about the different guns that I've demoed on the channel here. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on YouTube, and click the notification bell in the upper corner. If you select all, it should notify you anytime I put up a new video here on the channel. Hope you all have a great day. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time.